So normally I would have recorded this on whatever like current events or even just basically ideal abstract philosophy, the do under of killing my channel or even not making claymation on accident. Anyways, I didn't mean like that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean like that. I just it's true though. It's like some to the extent it's a hidden truth. It's like I could have easily been growing the channel faster if I just made claymation, right? But usually I would have based on either current event or otherwise abstract philosophy, where I stand with anything I'm already thinking about, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm already going into this video thinking, oh, okay, of course, that traumatic communication trauma I'm having lately. And yet, to be fair, like the community tab post you just saw, yeah, yeah, intense and dark, right? And I'm not, and actually, that's not Tony Cashman, okay? That literally was me doing that. So, yeah, that was a little bit of projection and even easily a bit of depression there. But I'm not talking like this, like I didn't just write that, okay? I'm not like that. But it's like, I'm not trying to hide from that particularly. If that's still on my channel, so it's like, it's like since like last night. But then I go into literally my dashboard, not even like 5 minutes ago, and the energy overall feels different. It's like I go into my computer because the computer's manually turned off for some freaking reason. We didn't have a power outage since like months ago. If I'm being not less disingenuous, it was 1 month ago that we had power outages and even brownouts. Maybe more than that since the brownouts. But my computer, for some reason, is manually turned off. And then for another, because I was AFK on our Discord server for a little bit on that VC. So I was AFK there longer than I needed to be. Usually when I'm AFK from that VC, they can just kick me out just in case I'm there too long without needing to hear anything, appropriate or not. And then I can just worry about it later if it's just auto kick from AFK. But so the other time, and that in relevance with the communication trauma too, unfortunately, with just the VC and other things alone. Two other isolated events, but like in particular, but just with communication trauma. But the computer is completely logged off and turned off and manual off as if there was a power outage. There was never one for the last week or two already. So the computer's off completely. Then when I come on this PC and turn it on, I have to both log, for some reason for the first time, I have to log back into my Microsoft Edge account from an email for Outlook and the YouTube account attached to my Gmail and Google. Both together with the computer being manual off. And I'm like, oh, and get this. I go to my YouTube dashboard, and the energy feels completely different. And nothing has supposedly changed, and the energy feels completely different. And I'm not trying to be honest to other issues. I like the communication trauma. Like the communication trauma just happened, so that's a little different. I'm not trying to act excited and gleeful and dishonest and disingenuous about that as if I would be doing that on purpose. But because the communication trauma did happen. But anyways, the energy feels completely different on the dashboard. And I'm like, nothing has technically changed since then. It's just maybe not being logged. It's literally not being logged into my email and my YouTube account for Outlook and Gmail, and my computer being manually off. Nothing was really made an issue there. I mean, the hardware did have a quick check as half the time usual. Half the time usual. That's not even really possible. But 50% rate of more than often the statistic. Whatever. I don't remember what I'm saying right now. But like, just 50% usual. Okay, whatever. But the theme is reset to light mode for the dashboard, and then that's the device theme. Actually, it's actually set to device theme for light, and it feels different to be on the dashboard for some weird eerie reason. It feels weird to be there. Like this was like 10 minutes ago. Okay, I'm not talking too much real events, but even just trivial or not, trivial or major, and so it feels weird to be there, and I'm like, okay. As we all have to imply with this, in an already woo-woo sense, how did I manifest this? How did I come to the point of both communication trauma and weirdly trivial, irrelevant things like this in the morning where I'm like, okay, my computer is giving me weird vibes of something shifted, and it's like, and of course I already know that so far with at least the communication trauma, if not other things in my life. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying I was that supposed emo mode for a little bit, okay? I'm not denying that. But it was like, how did I manifest this? And it's like, that's again, and one more time, that's again with the trivial aspects of YouTube and my computer and the communication trauma at large, whether it's a big deal or not. To me, at least, for my plot story. And finally, I go into this video thinking one of three things. Do I need to force this to be a topic? Do I need to make this about only the communication trauma? And do I need to make this about anything else like claymation? Because I managed to make it about claymation before, not in even recent weeks or months or years. Oh yeah, so that's the third question. Was like, should I make this about claymation? Because I was really gonna make this video about claymation. I was gonna talk about either one or two different things about claymation, which was that would it have been about the fact I haven't made claymation yet, or that I wouldn't be able to make claymation too frequently later on, even in this future, if so. Because I don't have to be too tongue tied to the idea of claymation going to my channel, but that's a little different for that. There are some, and this is gonna sound relevant to communication trauma a little bit. There are some things that suggest that I'm not even in the best headspace even now. Like the fact that my room is a big, disposable mess. It's like not even unbeknownst to me, but like you can see in the corner of my bed that that stuff's laying on my bed. Like I treat my bed like it's like some kind of like a side drawer, and that's not by mistake. Like literally, like the whole point of me wanting a twin size over a queen size was to have a different style. People who don't believe on that are already projecting enough of their own misguidedness of how that works. And I'm not saying I'm only right, but it's like, but it happens to be a case that I prefer twin size. Doesn't have to be personal, could be, but stuff like that. It's like indirect to how I see the psyche in my mind or whatever else happens to be a case I communicate that. But there you go. It's like, so what would it be like if I just simply knew how to have fun? If I just simply knew how to truly be effective in my productivity? If I just, and this is related to both claymation and my communication trauma and other things, like, what would it happen to be the case that I just knew how to change and not complain, not add more layers to the difficulty that's already there in the first place? Like, and doubling down between the challenge of just changing in general and then my dilemmas and philosophy for why I shouldn't change in the first place, even if I know I have to anyways. And it's like, it's doubled down, right? It's like the problem already is I have to change and put the effort into it. But now let's add into the other problems I have. That's, again, communication trauma. With what already comes with it, which is that I have the philosophy that if I change, I will lose myself. In a nutshell. And it's like, I should probably change and inspire that, because losing myself will mean that I'll be able to not necessarily be lost in life. That's okay either way. Long story about that. About my personal experiences with that. Whether I was ever lost in life or not, compared to other people. Unique and relatable. Different things about that. Or if I just simply knew that even if I want to change, it would be a better benefit anyways, either way. Even without wanting that in particular, it wouldn't still be better for me to change anyways. Because changing even the quota of, not status quo, not necessarily, of being 99% different for every other year, that's good, right? Changing so much that you don't recognize who you were before. That's the cliche and the less jadedness of that. But there is obvious trauma, understandably, when you change so much you don't even think it's worth it anymore. And it's like, that's already half of the story I have to explain with the communication trauma. Not that I don't know why it'd be worth it for both the societal and the personal level, internal and external, because we're all connected anyways. But that's besides the point. It's maybe, but it's not that I don't know why it would be worth it to improve my communication. It's not that I don't know why it would be worth it to just make claymation. It's not that I don't know why it would be worth it to get out of this house or this city or other places in my life, internal, on subconscious, spiritual, whatever, psychological, why that would still make a difference even if I didn't actually want those things. Like if I didn't actually want to leave Houston, or if I didn't actually want to understand my personality and psyche and shallow self, like if I was applying that any better while also having fun and not philosophically being against fun or work or anti-results, anti-peace of mind for some reason. I don't even say like anti-peace of mind. I say like anti-results because anti-results is the cliche for me. But not everyone else really knows that, really, because I don't get to explain to them. And I keep asking for help and explaining things about where I truly done to death in my life, and people are like, no, that's never mentioned before. Newcomer, newsflash, right? So, I don't have to close this video too soon, but I could end at 10 minutes exactly. And if I did, here's what I would say right now. It's hard to believe that I don't know what's like to make a decision. That was probably going to tell this video. It's hard to believe that I don't know what's like to make a decision for the first time in my life. Not that people make decisions for me, because they don't even make decisions for most of the things I don't do anyway. So that's a little bit of a paradox right there. But to believe that I don't actually know what it's like to make a decision the first time, or what it's like to live on my own terms for the first time, or to win or succeed in the first time, or even to actually have done things in a way appropriate to me and still under my own virtues. Because what would that say about someone like me who does not make claymation often, who does not communicate properly, and who does not even understand why his computer does certain things that reflect him on a trivial but deep level? right? Right? Like, come back, guys.